Hello, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. This is Shelly, Shell. It's a beautiful sunny day here. I'm in Ohio. I don't know where you guys are, but it's a beautiful day. It's cool, about 57 degrees, but you see I have on a sweater and a scarf just to keep, the air off my neck uh, while I'm outside. But it's a gorgeous day. See if I can flip the camera. Let's see if I can do that. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can see. It's so beautiful. Is it beautiful where you are? I thought I could flip the camera around. There it is. Look at this view. Oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. It's the colors of the sky and the trees and the changing leaves that are beautiful to me. Oh, it's God's great lights. I read that that particularly Black women, African American women, need about 40 minutes of sunshine for vitamin D absorption. And I have been trying to get as much as I can over the last few weeks because winter is coming. It was 44 degrees this morning. It was cold, and that's only 15 degrees above freezing. And so it was cold, but it was such a beautiful, brisk morning. So I just want to show you guys this landscape where I am and just share. So I've been thinking a lot about, life and where I am in my life. I don't know where you are on your journey, of course, because I don't even know who you are, but I just think about, as I am coming into midlife, that there are things that I want to do and to accomplish and people whose lives I want to impact and affect, and how can I effectively do that? And so I have been doing some training and working with teens and young adults, teaching in the areas of relationship education, not as like a, well, it can be mentorship, but it's more educating them in relationships and how to grow individually in their purpose, what happens in their bodies when they, the chemicals, the love hormones, and how to choose well and how to make poor choices, right? I know that in my own life, I've made a lot of compromises in my life and in relationships, and so I have a lot of experience. I don't say a lot of experience, but I have experience, right? And also I have my education, so I share with young people, and it's really very refreshing to see their young ideas and to help them, like you see how they start to put their ideas together and how it begins to make sense for them and how they can begin to choose what they want for their lives. There's so much that so much in life that we can connect to in the big wide world when we become adults. And if we don't have direction in various areas, we can struggle. And so relationships is one area of our lives that affects everything that we do, right? From the grocery store to, the bank tellers, to our neighbors that we have to live with, college roommates or other roommates, besides dating relationships and family and our children and all of that. And so it affects every area of our lives, and it's really very foundational and key that we learn how to be and become good friends and good relationships, healthy relationships, if that's ultimately what we want. And so, it can be very complex. It can be difficult. And some of that difficulty, I believe, comes when you don't know. When you don't know, then you don't choose well, right? But if you know and you have more information about something, particularly about yourself, then you can choose better. And you can choose better the first time so that you don't get into a cycle, right? And I remember being in high school and making some decisions about what I thought I wanted for my life. And, wanted to go to college, and I wanted to be a math teacher. I thought I was going to get my PhD, and I was going to teach math at a collegiate level, and then I would get married, and then I would have children. And so some of that has happened and some of that has not, and things began to change. But what I didn't know was how to go about it, right? It's like, this is what I want. I didn't really know why I wanted it because I didn't know enough about myself, and I didn't know how to get it, right? And so these are some of the things that I help young people to sift and sort through and determine for themselves, just so they have a good, solid, or somewhat of a solid foundation for their life as it relates to their relationships. Because we definitely choose the relationships that we have, and we choose to connect with people that we meet and we know, and we choose to involve ourselves in situations with those people. We choose it, right? So if you have an unwanted pregnancy, unless it was a situation of violation, then it was likely a choice, but that we have to live with, right? We did make a choice. We may not have known better. We may not have trusted our intuition. We may have known and didn't go with what we knew, right? We second guessed ourselves and what we wanted and what we knew. And when you know better, you can choose better. That's what I believe. And so you can't say that you didn't know when somebody does tell you, or when you do know. And so that's my goal. My mission is to help to support young people and giving them the insight, the knowledge, the experience, and the practice so that they can choose better the first time. Because relationships are a central part of every aspect of our lives. Everything that we do involves people, even if it's ourselves, right? That intrapersonal relationship, the one we have with ourselves. What you saying to yourself, girl? What you saying when you talk to yourself? Because we talk to ourselves. What are you saying to yourself? What are you believing about yourself? What are you making true about yourself? What lies are you saying about yourself? And what truths are you telling yourself about who you can be and what you can have? And so I know it sounds, I don't know, sometimes I think about relationship education, and it's like, well, how can you teach somebody? Yeah, you just help them to understand. You give them insight, right? You expose them to knowledge about boundaries and about their values. They might not have ever thought about values. When I took interpersonal relationships in college, interpersonal communication, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I absolutely fell in love with the course. It was one of the first courses that I took in my, when I started studying communication in my junior year. And I literally fell in love. I thought I had found my match, because I always have been, I didn't know that, but I would sit around the table and talk about people and relationships and how the relationships affect their lives and all this kind of stuff around my family table. At the table communication is my business name. And then we would talk about those deep issues about people. And when I got to college and found out there's an entire field of study around this, oh, gosh, sign me up. And I absolutely loved it. And when I took that first interpersonal communication course, I was like, what? I never knew these things. If I had understood this, I could have chosen better. My friends have been in these precarious situations because if they had just known this, they could have chosen better, but they didn't know. They didn't understand. They didn't have any way of knowing, And so there's so many things that we can learn in life. But I think when we go to school, we learn about academics. We learn, a variety of academic subjects. It's a liberal arts system. Our school, our educational system here in the United States is liberal. And so we learn a little bit about everything, math, science, history, social studies, art, music. We learn a little bit about everything. Some kids want to graduate from high school and they want to know finance, and they want to know financial literacy, and they want to know taxes and why pay taxes, and they want to know all those kinds of things. And we have relationships because we're in the classroom with people, we're in with teachers and administrators and all that. But when we start dating or we're liking someone and all that, and we take a health class, maybe it becomes a little hands-off a little bit, because those are things that really families should probably teach their children based upon their values and their beliefs, their systems, their cultural beliefs and attitudes about life and family and relationships, and all of that's fine. The education, the curriculum and that sort of thing that I use and that I teach does not involve any of that stuff. It's broad, right? So you can fit it into any culture, any religious belief, any group of people in that way. But it's so important, because I'm telling you, when you turn 18 years old and you become free, and some of us become free like a wild animal out of a cage, I'm telling you. I remember teaching at this college, and a student said, they really need you to come to this particular school because they are off the hook. I said, I know they are. I know they're off the hook. They're like wild animals out of a cage. They've gotten free. They're independent. Their parents are not on their back. They like a boy. They like a girl, whatever it is. And it just gets wild. The thing is thinging. The body is talking. It's telling you what you want, telling you what you can do and you can have and all of this. And then it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Impulsive decisions, not really thinking things through, not making the best decisions, being pushed to the limits by other people, other people's expectations, still trying to fit in, sort of like middle school, kind of like high school. Sometimes college can be like high school, and you feel like people should have grown up by now, but they may not have necessarily done that. And it's just complex. And so I'm passionate about helping young people dispel the myths and really get an understanding, a foundational understanding of themselves, so they can get on the journey to putting away the things about their parents' expectations and lives that they don't want to take into their own, and choosing what they want for their lives as they begin. Because I believe that when we're born into this world, we all have our sense of self. There's a sense of self, our passions, our quirks and things that make us unique and who we are. So we have those things when we're born into a family, but then our family structure, expectations, culture, values, religious beliefs, and all those things shape how it develops. And so sometimes we don't get to be who we are. We have to be who our family thinks we should be, right? Who grandma says you are, or it could be living out your parents' unlived lives and their expectations for their own lives through you. And it doesn't necessarily work that way. And so I like to help people to really kind of sift through all of that stuff and put away the baggage and the expectations of other people to determine what's authentically me. Who am I? What do I want for my life? What are my values? What's really important to me? And maybe those things are similar to what your parents taught you and your cultural beliefs because you bought into it fully, and that's perfectly fine. And then maybe it's not, right? And so that's really what I'm passionate about, because I believe that when you know better, you do better, and you can teach other people to do better, and we can have greater impact on our family and our children going forward to choose well when we know well, right? We allow other people to be themselves and not try to box them into who we want them to be when we understand that we're different, and we learn to respect differences. Differences make harmony. I've been in the band. I was in band for 6 years, from middle school through high school, and I love music. I played in jazz band, concert band, marching band. I played 4 instruments. And what I learned is that we're not on the same note, but we do play in harmony together. Those differences in the sounds of the instruments makes the melody that we love in songs, right? And so if you don't have differences and respect differences, then what do you have? Everybody's the same. It's flat. it's boring. It doesn't add that bass drum to the back or that hi-hat. And you're like, oh yeah, that hi-hat. And then you get that horn playing, that deep horn, that saxophone or that tuba and that trombone coming in, and then that flute on the trill. You get all of that together in symphony and in harmony. And that's how it is in our lives and our relationships. But sometimes we expect for people to be like us. We think that we have the best and the only way to be and to exist. And that's not true. There is a way that is different for all of us. And allowing people to be free in that is liberating. But it also creates harmony. And harmony is beautiful sound. So anyway, I'm just on my lunch break, taking a walk out here, enjoying a few minutes of sunshine. I think I've been out here for almost 20 minutes, trying to get 40 minutes in today for vitamin D. I'm thankful to have a space here on TikTok that I can just talk and share my thoughts and my ideas, just so that it can be free from my heart. I have so much in my heart. This morning, I walked into the classroom. This beautiful little girl, just as cute as she can be, had a little bit of an attitude, and maybe she carries that attitude every day. I don't know. I'm a guest teacher, so I don't know these children necessarily. And she had a little bit of an attitude, and she came at me. She was very disrespectful in her tone and what she said to me. And I said, I can be able to do this. It's 8:30. No, it was 9:30. School started at about 9 o'clock. It was 9:30, 9:45. I said, let me call the administration because you need to go to the office. No, I don't. You do. And this is my name. Get it right. Oh, baby. We're not going to do that today. We're not. I'm going to have somebody come and help you, to support you, because I can't, because I don't know you, I don't have a relationship with you. And I'm going to allow you to learn how to have emotional maturity at your age. You're going to manage what you're feeling, and you're going to manage yourself socially too, and social maturity in how you understand the impact of your behavior on the rest of this class. Because if my day is not good, then the rest of this class is not going to have a good day. And what we do affect other people. We have to understand that what we do affects others. If I'm here and I'm smiling and I'm happy and I'm having a wonderful day and I'm helping and you're helping me, then we're all getting along together. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Everything's wonderful. That's great. And so she was removed from the classroom. She and a couple other students, and they came back probably about 2 hours, maybe about 2 hours, hour and a half later, had a conversation with their families, and behavior changed. And I love that for her, that she could choose to change her behavior, change her attitude, and do better. And this is what I mean when I say relationships affect every area of our lives. She's a student. I'm a stranger in her classroom giving her orders. Yes, because we all have somebody to tell us what to do. God is the judge of all things. So we all have to answer to him. Our teachers, our parents, our boss, ourselves. If we manage ourselves, then we do that for ourselves too. And so it was a good day. Everybody had an opportunity to have a good day. Things turned around. And so my lunch period is just about over. It's 1:46. And yeah, so what can you do today or in this season of your life? Is this the fourth quarter of 2025 as we go into 2026? How can you create impact in your own life or change the trajectory of your life, or continue to move and elevate, right, your life? If you are in a good place or an amazing place in your life and you want to grow and you want to go higher, you want to have more impact, you want to reach more people, you want to create something amazing and magnificent that will change other people's lives and impact other people, because ultimately we're created for togetherness and for one another, and like we're created to fellowship with one another. No mission or vision or purpose of your life really exist without other people. And there's no one man island, one man show. You know, you can say I'm a self-made man, but if nobody buys your product, then did you make yourself? Somebody had to sew into you. Somebody had to believe in your product. Somebody had to believe in your brand. And someone had to make an investment in you. And so what can we do for the next 3 months of this year? And as we prepare for 2026, there's a lot of things happening in the world. But one thing is true that I believe, and that is that your purpose doesn't change because of what's happening in our society or in our country or in our state. You're still called to the same thing, maybe in a different way. It may look different, it may involve different people, but the purpose is the same. You're called, you're gifted, you're purposed, and don't lose sight of that. After I lost my mom, I started questioning things, and God has been bringing me right back in alignment because that's what I asked of Him. Oh, this sun and His clouds in the sky are beautiful behind me. I love that. So you have a great and amazing day. This is Shelly. I'm out.